Okay, I'll just, since there are at least three different groups that wanted to apply the autocomplete option, I'm going to, I just wanted to discuss it so that you could try this out for those of the groups that wanted to apply it. So this is the method that generates the JSON, and I had discussed that there are certain conventions that this particular autocomplete, it's going to use the autocomplete from the autocomplete method from jQuery, so it uses certain conventions. The search term, I think I mentioned in class, it wants it to be search. It wants the parameter to be term rather than input search or something else. And we are going to say it starts with term, so that as the user starts typing the letters, it's going to start searching for whatever starts appearing in the term, going to order by the course name in ascending order. And then the other convention is we need the names of whatever values are coming in should be ID and label. So ID should correspond to the course ID, the label to the course name. Okay, so we are taking this course list, converting it into JSON, and then returning that JSON string. Okay, so that is your JSON method. And then we have the HTTP GET, very simple. I'm calling it autocomplete, returning the view. Okay, nothing, I'm not considering any drop down lists, nothing of that. It's a very, very simple one. And then the HTTP post, also called autocomplete, with two parameters, course name and course ID, that are the ones that are going to be selected from the autocomplete. Okay, the text box with the autocomplete. When that is selected, I get it through the parameters, and I'm just going to put a breakpoint here. So when I run it, I just want to make sure that I have the values for ID and course name selected. Okay, that's about it for the controller methods. The next I had to correspond to the get method for the view. So after when I say return redirect to action, I'm basically going to send it back to this view. Okay, now going to this, I basically said, okay, now I'm going to set up both the CSHTML and the JavaScript in this in the same file. So we are going to use the course model, so add model course, and then the form tags, form ASP action autocomplete, method being post, and then I'm just closing the form tag. The script type is JavaScript. Okay, I'll just make it a little more compact here. And one of the suggestions for if you are combining script sections is to also have something called a section for scripts. Add section scripts, open curly brace, and then close the curly brace at the end of everything. Okay, now we have to make a reference to the jQuery library, which I will bring in a little bit. But let's see. So within this form, action is autocomplete. I'll just pause this for a minute. Okay, I'm restarting the recording. The form is also very, very simple. I'm just going to make a div class and make a form group. Okay, so this is the group that goes together for this form, and it's just going to be 3 HTML elements. I'll just say choose course as the label. Then I'll have a input ASP4. Input ASP4 is intelligence, so that it picks it up. Course name. Okay, and the type is it's a text box. And then for the CSS, I will just say class equals to form control. Okay, and let's close the tag. And finally, input ASP4 course ID. And here I'm going to use a type that is hidden, so every value of course name will have an associated course ID. So whatever value that the user chooses, they are choosing a course name, but what the system will get is the underlying course ID, which is what we know is the more efficient way for processing, for example, in searches and so on. So this is pretty much it for the form. And finally, the JavaScript itself. I'm going to as far as the code is concerned, this is where we left it in the morning. We are going to apply it on the course name object right here. So this is the identifier for the object with the pound sign in front and single quotes. I'm applying the autocomplete method. Okay, and then so I've opened the parentheses followed by curly braces here. So one thing which I find helpful is to match them up early on, so that as I keep adding more curly braces and parentheses, it's sort of easier to keep track. I also gave the full path to get to the JSON data source. And I'm using, so this will actually, if I just did this, if I left it at this, actually I'll do that and show you what happens. Okay, so I'll just keep just the code that I had this morning. I do need to bring in the JavaScript libraries. So for that, I'm going to bring in, actually maybe I should just tab this out so that, okay. So let's see, in the library, you have jQuery and the distribution. So I have jQuery.js, and I can get to that distribution, which is downloaded here. I believe every one of you should be able to see this in this path. So I'm going to use the script tag, script, and say the source is going to be, I can navigate over library, jQuery, distribution. They're both jQuery.js and jQuery the minimized version, which is recommended if you are having it like I am on the application itself. Okay, so I'll have to close this tag right here. So this is one library reference. The other library reference, so if you don't see it, by the way, you can go to jQuery.com. So you can do a search, jQuery.com, and that allows you to download jQuery. So download the compressed, the uncompressed. So download the slim build. Okay, so if I just download this, let's see, oops, that gave the entire code. So let's see, download. I'll just save. Link as. Okay, so it's the miniaturized version. I'll go into 452. Actually, I need to go into my string 452. I'll go into, okay, I'll just leave it here under 452. Save it. It's a zip file. I'll just go into show in folder. Okay, so you can see this is a miniaturized jQuery 3.4. I guess the one that I already have. I don't know what version it is, but if you are wanting to get it, you basically will have to move it into the library distribution. Since I already have that there, I'm going to not move it in there, but I would have to do it for jQuery UI. Okay, it's jQueryui.com. Okay, so I'm going to download the stable version, which is version 1.12.1. So it should get downloaded. It got downloaded as a zip file. And to extract the entire folder. Okay, I'm going to take this folder and put it in Spring 452. No, actually in my thumb drive. And okay, let's see. Okay, jQuery. I should just put it on the course scheduling solution. Let's see. Okay, I just am finding there are a lot of other files which I didn't expect to see up here. Let's see if I move it in here. The place I really wanted. So let me put this. It's a zip. I just copied it over. The file that I really need is just this particular. One of these two, the miniaturized version or the regular jQuery UI. I'll just take both of those, Control-C, and then I will take it into the app, into the app folder, into the root, into the library, into jQuery. Okay, and then it says distribution, and I have jQuery and jQuery min. I'm just going to add jQuery UI min and jQuery UI. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is reference the set up a script to reference the source that is inside of jQuery UI. I can use either the miniaturized version or the regular version, but I'll use the miniaturized version or minimized version for both. Okay, so now let's run this and see what is there. If I were to run it in debug mode, so first I'll just run it in regular mode. Okay, so what I want is, let's see, autocomplete is what I want to get to. So it's in my manual course controller. So it will be manual course, and the method is called autocomplete. Okay, so the courses, if I started typing in, let's say there's the systems analysis course. If I type in SY, if I type in I'm not seeing anything pop up. So let's see what is the issue here. My miniaturized version text course. See if I get courses for autocomplete. It's the name of the JSON file. Okay, that's correct. Let's see if this works. I need to rerun this to see what caused that to not show up. When I ran it previously, I didn't quite get it. I need to see script text, JavaScript, ready function, course name, autocomplete, open, then specify the sources, get courses for autocomplete, and that's the script. Okay, so my starts with course list, ID, label. Let's see. Need to make sure it's autocomplete. Autocomplete. Okay, I can see it now finally. In systems analysis, intermediate accounting, then let's see, advanced IT. Now let me see if the problem from earlier was because I used the full path. the full path was what? Manual course slash. Let me see if that's what's causing the problem, because the last time it didn't quite give me the drop down. Okay, so just want to go through that. Okay, so it seems that if I thought by giving the full path it will actually help, but actually, since I'm in the same controller, by giving the path, it actually causes the problem. So it's better if I'm in the same controller as where the JSON method is, I don't give the extended path. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. That, well, luckily I spotted this. So what I had given earlier, I had said give the full path. The full path really doesn't work. Okay, so just go with when you're on the same controller. What I mean by that, this is the JSON method, and my get and set methods are all on the same manual course controller. So I don't want to give manual course slash get courses autocomplete. Now I'll put a breakpoint. I'd obviously thought I will get to this faster, but I had to figure that stuff out with regard to the full path for the URL for getting the JSON data. I'm going to just run this now in debug mode, okay, so that I can come and stop here to see if I get both the values. Okay. Let's see. I want to say manual course, and then I want to say the method is what? Autocomplete. Okay, so as I type in, I'm forgetting all the courses. I should have done a list of courses here, so maybe I'll just say course offerings. Where do I get a list of courses? Must be someplace. Manual course. And then, let's see, I should have a list of courses someplace. Okay, this one, get all courses for editing. Okay, so I just have 5 courses here, and okay, intro, and intermediate. So these two, I guess, are the best options for the auto complete. So here I'll start with I. It says two are available, and I can use the up and down keys to navigate. Okay, so I will choose this, and it should take me up. Okay. There is something that I missed out in the HTML here, and that's the submit button. I forgot under the div I need a submit button, otherwise it's not. Button type submit class btn default. Okay, and I'll just call this a search button. Okay, I don't think I'll have to run it again in debug mode. I apologize for that. Okay, let me go to manual course autocomplete. I will choose something which is like intermediate accounting. Submit the button, and you can see that I got the course name, but I didn't get the course ID. So to get the course ID, I have to add a little more JavaScript code. So in addition to the source, I would have to say, well, I want to set up the select parameter, which is based off of the event of making the selection. Okay, I'm selecting, and when I make the selection, I want to get, so I'll just get this down here. I want to look inside of the course ID, okay? And the way I look inside course ID is just as I look inside course name. Okay, and then use the dot notation. So it's exactly the same concept. Instead of course name, I look inside course ID and say, I want to get the value UI.item.id. Okay, and the semicolon. So basically, I'm getting the value that's hidden inside course ID, right, which is corresponding to that course name, and sending it over. So I'll put a breakpoint again and run it right here. So I save everything. And then run in debug mode. Okay, let's see autocomplete. intermediate counting, just like that, and it should have gone and stopped. AutoCAD and submit. Okay, so course ID is 4, course name. Okay, so now both the values are coming over. So that pretty much completes the discussion on using autocomplete. Obviously, this value can be used for search now. So again, for those of you who wanted to try it, I'll also send a PDF of all this code so that you have it for reference. Okay, I'll stop now.